Hi everyone, welcome to the first episode of Chef Tales with Sarah. And in this series, I am going to be bringing to you chefs from around the world, and they will come share their stories with you. They will share their inspirations with you, their journeys, their dreams, the struggles they faced, and maybe share some advice for aspiring chefs. The first guest that we have for the first episode, and it's my honor to introduce him because he has been more than a mentor to me. He has been an amazing instructor for me while I took training from him in Scafa, Lahore. And he's originally from Chile. His name is Chef Cristobal Ruiz. He's had a very vast experience. He's worked around Europe in the best restaurants possible. Yes, Michelin star restaurants. He's worked at NOMA in Copenhagen, and I'm sure a lot of you have dreamt to dine in NOMA. And also he's worked with Marcus Wareing at the Berkeley in London. And not only that, he's also been an instructor in Chile, in Dubai, Scafa, and he was also responsible for the opening of Scafa Pakistan, which was in Lahore, the first and only branch that they have right now. And currently he is an instructor and a chef over there. So I'm just waiting for Cristobal to send me his request so I can add him to this video and we can ask him some questions. And let's check. So we're just gonna have him on the channel.
Hello.
Hi, Chris.
How are you?
I'm very well. How
I'm
are you?
fine, thank you.
Thank you for coming live with us, and it's my honor to have you on the first episode because you are such a mentor to me. You have been a great instructor, and what better than have you as the opening chef for this series. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. For me, it's an honor be part of your live today and share with you, as you say, a few things regarding this career. You know, I'm very excited. I'm actually in Lahore right now. I'm working in Scafa as well as an instructor, as you know. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And for those of you who are in Lahore right now, this is a wonderful opportunity to catch up with Cristobal because he is not only an amazing teacher, you get to learn so much from his experiences because he has a very friendly attitude when he's teaching you. So he's sharing his stories and, you know, he make funny faces. So you not only you're enjoying learning, but you're learning more because of the way he teaches. And I had such a wonderful time with you in Scafa, Chris. So let's begin. Tell us how you got into this field.
How I get in
Was
this
it
field?
something that you always wanted to do?
In the beginning, not really. And I think that this career is for, you know, all of us. We have some other histories to tell as well. And I mean to be. I was in the Navy in my country. I mean to be an officer as an instructor. Yeah, as a officer in the Navy in Chile. And after that, when I was in the academy, I didn't feel very well. I didn't feel like, you know, it's something natural for me. So I quit, you know. I was like 16 years old, something like that. So I decided to back home and start over again, you know. So and then on those years, they already opened the culinary school in my hometown, and then I decided to go for cooking. Cooking was something who always I practice at home. I have a huge inspiration of my grandma, of course, you know. And once I was in the culinary school and the academy was, I think was amazing. It was an excellent experience for me. So then I remember the day, exactly the day when I decided, you know, that's for me. I need to stay here. So yeah, that's how I started in the culinary field, and for me is one of the best experience and one of the best decisions I have made before. Never.
And I believe, Chris, you know, how they say that if there's something that you love doing, you would do it a lot better than some other thing, you know. So maybe if you were still in the Navy, who knows if you would have progressed so much.
You never know. You know that's something the lives. So for me it was I learned a lot of things in the Navy, of course, you know, and you apply that things over your life all the time. And for me as an instructor and as also, you know, as a cook, it's something you really need to be very structured and that those kind of things always helped me a lot on the restaurants where I work in Europe and all. And now when as an instructor as well, you know. Yeah.
So Chris, coming back to the restaurants that you worked in, so we all know that you worked in 2 Michelin star restaurants, one being NOMA and the other with Marcus Wareing. How was your experience working in a Michelin star restaurant? I remember we had this talk when I was still your student, and we used to talk about how you always had to, you know, keep an eye out and figure out if there's a Michelin star, you know, a review going on. So how was the experience working at NOMA and then working at the Berkeley in London?
Well, NOMA for me was something casual. It was a friend of mine. He made a stage on NOMA, and so we studied together in the culinary school. And suddenly he said, ask them, send an email, and who knows, you know, maybe they accept you. And I sent the email yes to, and that time I was living in Scotland. And I sent the email, and then reply say yes, but you need to stay here for at least 2 months, and we don't pay you. It's unpaid. But we give you accommodation and food, of course. All right. So I was in my.
How old were you back then? How old were you back then?
24, 25. So.
Oh, wonderful.
So I was young, and I was married already. My wife teacher was in the university in Glasgow. So we take the risk. I went there. We'll see what happened, and it was an amazing experience. It's nothing compared with the actual NOMA. You know, NOMA become a big brand right now. It become a very trendy restaurant. All over the world, you say NOMA, and everyone say, "Oh, NOMA, cool." At that time, NOMA was number 10th in the 50 best restaurant.
And it's been number 1 for 3 years, I think, and now it's number 2.
Yes. It was close as well.
Yeah.
As well. Yeah. And to compare something is like, I don't know, is for example, be part of a Ferrari team in the F1. You know, so it was a big jump, a huge jump. Working hours, the quality of the product, the environmental, was very demanding, very demanding situation over there. But was very good, very nice. I was running all day like crazy, moving around.
So how many hours were you generally working on an average day in NOMA?
Sorry again, I can hear you.
So how many hours on average were you working in a day in NOMA?
Usually we work around 14 to 16 hours a day, and sometimes even more. Yeah. The Michelin star restaurant is something absolutely different on what you thought is as a work in a restaurant like that. And I was running all day and picking flowers and blah blah blah. But very intense. It was an amazing experience for me. A lot of techniques, new machines, and everything. And the most funny thing was my day off. We used to, yeah, with Rene, day off, and Rene say, okay, guys, tomorrow off, we close the restaurant, no problem, okay. I'm waiting for you tomorrow, 8 o'clock, here. But this day off, no, you need to come because we have a kickoff something. So we went the next day. There was a bus there. We packed a lot of food and everything. It was a trip to the farm, basically, countryside. And we played football.
Oh, wow.
We have some barbecues, but we have to pick a lot of flowers and herbs and all this seaweed and stuff like that. The one you found they usually use on that thing, and that was so fun.
So you're always working, even on your breaks.
Yeah, exactly. Even our breaks, but it was fun because we are a small team at that time. NOMA, we are around 15, 18 chefs. Now I think there are more than 50. Now become another thing, of course.
Okay, Chris, I'll interrupt you here. We have a couple of people asking this one question that they're very interested to know that what do lunch breaks look like for a chef?
Sorry again.
So there are a lot of people who want to know what do lunch breaks look like for a chef?
Now or when I was in the
when you were working in the restaurant?
No, in the restaurant, basically, there is no time. And the dream, you can't have a proper lunch. There is no time for lunch. Usually, we are running all day. So, your lunch time is like, okay, you go to the pastry section and grab a slice of bread, some butter or whatever you found, a cheese, and a bite. Meanwhile, you are doing, you keep working,
Anything is good.
Yeah. I was very thin at that time. I lost a lot of weight. Yeah.
Chris, can you tell us a little about working with Marcus Wareing? How was that like?
Yeah, man. Well, working with Marcus Wareing was absolute different history. The environmental in the kitchen was absolutely different. Was a bit tougher than work in NOMA. NOMA, we are like a big team, friends, and we play football and blah blah. Over there was a bit more competitive, and you need to fight for your position, and you need to arrive early to grab a few things and wrap it for you later, and also this was the same thing, like 16 and 18 hours sometimes we work a day. Was a very good experience as well. A more classic French, cuisine. And well, Marcus Wareing, he was a sous chef of Gordon Ramsay, so he has something related to him as well.
Of course, we know where that influence comes from.
Yeah, exactly. So he's very strict, and you can see him in MasterChef UK as well. He is very precise and he's a very competitive chef. He's a very good chef as well.
But let me tell you guys, he may be a student of Marcus Wareing, but he's nothing like Gordon Ramsay or Marcus Wareing. Chris himself is an excellent, friendly instructor, somebody you want to learn more and more from. And you know, teachers like him tend to teach more because the students want to learn more from people like him. You know, he's more of a friend than an instructor. So, you know, those of you who are in Lahore, Pakistan at the moment, they are still, Scafa is still doing online sessions. Don't miss this opportunity to take some classes from Chris, because I honestly, like, every time, you know, I have to come up with something, I go back into the classes that we had, and you know, I think about techniques I picked there, or you know, things that you would have done, and that's how I develop things that I do. So Chris, where actually was the best experience that you had? What was that, being a chef, or was that being an instructor, and why?
They are two different parts. I think it's part of the same big history book. You know, the first chapter is the experience, and on that point of view, you know, as a cook, be part of those restaurants and have experience on those kind of Michelin star restaurant was a huge achievement for me. You know, I was very excited and very happy with that. But the second chapter was when I came back to my country, to Chile, and I feel like, you know, when you have something like a backpack on you and you need to live in some place, and that was the reason why I decided to go into this field as an instructor. And that was the reason why I decided to teach cook. And arrive at home to Chile with a lot of things. I opened my own restaurant as well. You know, I bring all these techniques.
Yes, I remember that.
And all this kind of things. I start working, you know, as instructor as well, and the restaurant as well, both things at the same time. And then I feel very happy teaching. I was very happy to find there is a lot of people willing to learn more about cooking. And I think I found myself as well in a certain way, you know, when those days I start in the culinary school. And then I decided to go into this field, definitely. And it's been like, I don't know how many years, but 16 years already, something like that. Yeah.
If you tell the years, we can guess your age.
Yeah. No, I don't have any problem with my age. I have 37 already, and almost half of my life has been already in this industry.
Chris, what did you face any struggles when you started off, and like, was your family supportive of this field, or did you have people telling you, don't do this, you know, why are you leaving Navy? And you know, how was it like? Did you face any challenges, any struggles?
Yeah, of course. As I told you before, I think in this industry, most of the chefs, they will have something to tell as well. And in my family, most of my family are from the Navy, you know. And when I decided to not go into the Navy, it was like, you know, why? And I say, no, I'm not happy. Sorry, I can't do that. I need to do another thing. And then I decided to go in this field, you know, as a culinary school. And then I was super happy. No problem. I think in the beginning, when you start,
face any struggles in.
Yeah. I think when
you
when you
didn't
start,
face any struggles during your culinary experience or cooking experience or being a chef or an instructor.
Yeah. No, of course. I think the main struggle is when you start and you face this new world basically of restaurants and long hours. You don't believe that, okay? And maybe if I talk to the audience right now, you need to work 12 or 15 hours, is become, you can think about that.
And you're literally standing all the day, standing, running. It's not like you get rest to sit down.
Exactly. It's very physical. And but I was young, so energy, and you can do it. You know, it's not a big issue. But to face that structure become quite tough. Of course, you know. And as I tell you before, you know, the chef. As Marcus Wareing or Gordon Ramsay, they are very strict, and they are really in the real life they are like that as well. And sometimes you need to, you know, hold your horses and keep your angry inside and cry because you get upset.
Hold your tears.
Yeah, with tears. Yeah, no, so many times. And keep working and shopping and picking and everything. And well. But at the end of the day, when you finish work, you feel very happy, and I think that that's the best symptom of good cooking.
That's amazing, because I feel, Chris, everybody needs to start right from the bottom and work their way up, because there's no shortcuts to learning techniques and you know, being exposed to this kind of knowledge. You have to work you bottom up. And I think a lot of people who try to cut corners and just try to reach to the top right away, I think it never works out that way.
No, I'm 100% agree with you, and I think in this thing you must learn all the basic techniques, and that's the main thing. And that's something I tell to my students all the time as well. You know, there's very important to learn everything from scratch, and the main thing is that your knowledge is based in techniques. Sometimes the students become quite upset and they're asking for recipes. Chef, give me a recipe of Wellington or puff pastry, and then wait. You need to learn how to hold your knife. You need to learn how to cut. You need to know how to make a proper mayonnaise, and you need to understand what happened when you make all these kind of things. And I think that's the
you need to understand the science behind everything.
Yeah, exactly. Because at the end of the day, what happened is that, you know, if you have a solid knowledge on your concept, you will be able to replicate any kind of recipe. Even, you know, Chinese cuisine or French cuisine or Italian cuisine, the techniques are exactly the same. The recipes change, and those days, you know, the recipes, you can Google it and you'll find 10,000 million recipes of pasta, you know, and then you'll figure out which one is suitable for what you want to do. But the main thing over here, I think is to learn techniques. That's it's my advice, basically.
Chris, somebody wanted to know that since you've been to Pakistan twice now, this is your second trip, right?
Yes, it's my second time.
So, and it's been a while that you've been in Pakistan. So, is there any local dish that is your favorite?
Yeah, of course. Look, as a cook, you need to know that come to this country, it's like a dream, because all the spices you have, because all the technique the one you have is just amazing. And honestly, I think one of the best food you can have. The best food I have in my entire life was here in Pakistan, and always I tell that to my students, because it was very funny. It was on a how do you call this, the truck stop, you know, on the outside of Lahore. A friend of mine took me to that place, and I taste. They give me lamb chunk, salted lamb chunk. And they bring me a pile of you know, the rotis and naan and all this kind of bread. And I take one, and the guy take it home, take it back, and say, no, you know what? I need to bring you new ones because they are cold. Say, no worries, no, and he don't allow me, and he bring me new ones, you know. And the lamb was amazing. I think that was my favorite, and also my almost every week I have one is chicken handy.
Chicken handi. Together we experimented on that together.
Yeah. I think honestly that I think that's one of the most amazing dishes for me. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I need to taste another things. But for me, and the first time when we come here to Pakistan with my family. Also, my wife, she really loved that chicken handy, and we tried to reply at home.
I remember when,
but never is the same. No, definitely not.
I remember when we first went to have the chicken handi and the mango lassi and the puri parathas, and it was such a great time we had there. And I think you've been having chicken handi ever since.
Yeah. Well, you work also with Sam, Chef Sam. He really loved that as well, and he really enjoyed. He took these pots,
I heard he's been freezing them and taking them to Dubai.
Yeah. He took to Dubai. Yes, it's crazy, and that was a great time as well.
And it's an honor. It's an honor for me as a Pakistani to know that a chef of your caliber is saying that he enjoyed Pakistani cuisine the most, and you have so many favorites. Because honestly, when I go abroad and when I try to tell people that there is a difference between the Indian cuisine and the Pakistani cuisine, everybody thinks it's the same. But you know, sometimes I want to really explain that no, okay, it may look the same, we may have the same names, but it's cooked very differently. And you know, the aromas, that Pakistani cuisine, the way we roast our spices, the amount of spices and herbs and everything that we add, the year-old techniques, hundreds and hundreds of years old techniques, you know, all of them, they really matter. And it's like tradition just being carried forward. And I feel, you know, more people need to be aware of how Pakistani and Indian cuisine may look the same and may have the same names. They're very different in real.
Yeah. No, definitely. And that's something, you know, I think we need to make a marketing work on it, to say that, because as someone says there as well, the sweets are the best. That's true as well. You know, the sweets are so nice. The gulab jamun, the halwa, you know, and it's full of technique. That's the main thing. I mean, as a cook, if you come here, your mind explodes, because you have. Look, I really love the tandoor. The tandoor, the oven is something out of this world. Honestly. And I think
exactly.
it's the oldest oven made, you know, and it's like 400-500 degrees. It's super hot, and the way how you make bread is absolute amazing, and how you cook the chicken inside and everything. So you know, it's something else. I really enjoy so much the flavors, as you say. Also, that's. The flavors are very different. Most of the people say the same thing. Okay, no, India and Pakistan food is the same thing. No,
exactly.
I really think that Pakistani food for me is more like comfort food. You know, home food. You know, take you to the heart. Honestly.
You know, Pakistanis love to eat. This is what we love to do. Pakistanis love to eat. We love to feed, and we love to cook. So, which is why I think one of the greatest strengths of our country is hosting and entertaining people. And, you know, entertaining doesn't mean just having one dish on the table, but, you know, they lay out the entire spread on the table for even entertaining guests. So it's amazing what big hearts Pakistanis have when it comes to food and serving and, you know, hosting. It's amazing. So
Yeah.
Chris, coming to our next question, what are your top 5 most favorite ingredients that you just won't do without?
Oh, well, for me, I think, of course, olive oil. You know, because my
Olive oil?
yes, my instructor as a in a French cuisine, basically. You know, I think I love to work with fish. Fish. I really enjoy to work with fish as well. And I think it's because when I work in the restaurants, usually I was in charge of the fish section, so I really enjoy to clean the fish, to work with it. You know, the eggs, definitely. Eggs are amazing. They're so versatile. You can use eggs for everything, in different ways. I really enjoy that. There is some a spice who here is quite popular, but in my country is very difficult to find. And next time I come back to Chile, I want to take a big bag of that. Is the black cardamom. I really enjoy that. Yeah, I really enjoy that smell and the flavor. It's very intense. It's very strong flavor.
It's very strong. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, I don't know what else. I really enjoy most of the vegetables as well.
One more.
I really enjoy the you know, the aubergines. Aubergines are, for me, is one of the best thing you can have. It's amazing vegetable.
You know, talking about fish, Chris, I remember when I was taking my course with you, it was the first time that I found out that, you know, if seafood smells like seafood, it's not fresh. And, you know, this is something that we don't know. And because every time you prepared it, I would say, you know, oh, Chris, these shrimps or these prawns or this fish, it doesn't smell like fish at all. It doesn't smell like prawns at all. And you told me that, you know, Sarah, the day it smells like prawns and it smells like the sea, that means it's not fresh. And ever since, I think I've held on to that line of yours. And it always, you know, every time I'm going to have fish and every time I try to have a bite and I'm like, okay, no, it's smelling like fish, so it's not fresh. So, you know, when it's smelling like the sea, it's not fresh. And when it's not, it's amazing. And that's something we, in Lahore, that's not something that we get easily because we don't have, you know, the seaside or, you know, so flying in from Karachi, that is the closest we can get. So, is there a favorite, one single favorite kitchen equipment?
One single, I really enjoy the knives. Sorry, I'm very simple.
Yes, I know that.
I really
know that.
I think you know what happens if you don't have a good knife or you don't have you can't do anything. I mean, become quite difficult. I would like to say, I don't know, maybe the sous vide. You know, I really enjoy to use sous vide as well.
You were the star of sous vide.
Yeah.
I've had food that you've sous vide for like 48 hours. That's amazing. And it's hard for me to explain to people, you know, the how tender the meat is and how flavorful it is. It's just amazing.
Yes, it is. I really love that, you know, that equipment, the sous vide, because bring the I think that bring you the cooking method to the next level. You know, if you
exactly.
really if you really know how to use, I think it become very useful. You can use at home. You can store a lot of things. You can pasteurize. It's very safe. I think it's very useful to bring up all the nice flavor on the very tip cut, for example. The one you usually
Exactly.
don't use.
All the tough cuts also.
Sorry again?
Also on the tough cuts.
Yes, of course. For the tough cuts are very good. The oxtail. You can use also buco, which otherwise is going to take long time in a pot. But I think the sous vide is a very useful tool as well.
Also, I remember, I was always trying to get my hands on your own personal tweezers that you'd have in your jacket. I used to love those on Chris's jacket, and I remember, how delicately he would use them to pick every flower and, literally make a piece of art out of the dish. So, Chris, can you tell us a little about how and where that art side of yours came into the culinary side?
Yeah, I mean,
how did the artist become the chef?
Yeah, of course. I think when you start working in this field, and that's something I learned when I work in NOMA. The cook or the chef, it was a craft, And if you think before, the French Revolution, we are very close to the farmer, So at the end of the day, the chef come from the land, and the chef come from the flowers, from the herbs, and for the vegetables, and all this kind of things. So I think the chef need to respect all this kind of things, and it's very important as well, to be aware of what is in your environmental, because sometimes and to me happen here, I just walk around your garden, and there is such a beautiful flowers, and sometimes some of them are edible. If you taste it, tastes nice, and why you don't put that on your plate as well? That is absolute allowed. There is so many things, and I think when you make that connection, with the land and the plate and your customer, and I think you are doing, as you say, it's an art basically.
It's a very beautiful way, the way you explain this, Chris. We really need to remember, to stay grounded. This is where we come from, and respect the earth, respect what we have around us, respect the vegetables, everything, and flowers and herbs. And that is what really, when you think about them respectfully, you can plate them more respectfully as well. And that is what really brings the art in the plating, I feel. And you have worked with such precision and such beauty. Your plating is amazing. I mean, I don't even want to go into your culinary skills, because we all know how amazing they are. But I mean, the way you would plate, you have really inspired me. And I there's so much of what you taught that still comes out in whatever I am doing. So, not only, like I'd say again, you're not only an instructor, you've always been an inspiration. So, lastly, to just wind it up, is there any secret tip that you'd like to share with us, whether for aspiring chefs or any recipe? That's totally up to you. Any tip at all?
I don't know if there is like a recipe. It's hard to say that. But as I tell you before, I think the key in this industry, in this world, in this culinary world, is a technique. It's a technique. You need to learn techniques. And if you think, the people who I meet a lot of people, like my grandma, for example. She never went to the culinary school, but we really respect, the way of cut the vegetable, the way of cook that vegetable, and the most important thing, when stop cooking that thing. to bring all the flavor of that vegetable, of that product to you, you know. And I think those kind of things make you a good cook.
And also keeping the nutrition value intact.
Sorry again?
Also keeping the nutritional value intact.
Of course, yes, of course. And sometimes, you know, and that's usually happen. You are thinking it in another countries, or you're thinking in another recipes, another cultures to bring up your cuisine, and sometimes, you know, you have a very good product over here, and once you get the technique and you match your product, you bring up a very good dish at the end of the day. One thing I really love over here as well are the gajar. I don't know.
Yes, because
I don't know.
Around the world you get those orange ones. So here we have the really sweet, red, beautiful tasting red ones.
Yes. I really enjoy that. Yeah, it's very good.
You know, Chris, a lot of your past students have also joined in, and they're all saying such amazing things about you. And I am a witness that they're all true, because you are truly an inspiration. You've been so kind. You're more than just an instructor. You're more than a chef. You are an inspiration for us. And all those people who are in Lahore are lucky at the moment. Still, you're here, and they must not miss a chance to get in touch with you, maybe learn a thing or two. I remember Chris saying, you know, you have to start from the scratch, Sarah. And, you know, I remember the first lesson we had was knife skills. So, you know, you taught us how to walk with a knife in the kitchen, you know. I mean, who even ever thinks of that? But, you know, you always telling us, okay, how to walk with a knife in your hand. And this is this cut. Tell me, what is this cut? And, you know, the first class, I was like, why am I just chopping vegetables? You know, I have to do more. But then, you know, you get there and you understand why there is a reason behind everything. Every skill that you learn it leads up to who you will become eventually, and what your style of your own culinary, what your style of your cuisine will be. So, you know, a lot of people have started asking me, how do we walk with a knife? So guys, Chris, why don't you tell them
how to walk with the knife? Well,
so guys, when we used to, yeah, Chris, please explain, because they're finding it funny.
No, you know, it's true. It's true. When you're working in the kitchen, there is like a chaos, you know. There is a lot of people working and running around and blah, 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 moving very fast. So basically, you need to hold your knife, and you need to put next to your leg, basically facing down, of course.
Leg, yeah.
Then you can
Facing
wash
down.
it, and you can. But no, never you bring the knife, you know, with your chopping board like that, you know, because if someone pass, you can cut the head of someone or something, you know, and become very dangerous. So that's my advice.
Exactly.
To walk with the knife.
So kitchen safety comes first, guys.
Yes.
Any piece of advice for aspiring chefs, Chris?
Well, I think on those days they are very tough times for this industry right now. I think there is a lot of things going to change from now on. But I feel the new students or the new chef, they're very lucky, because they're going to get this instruction from the beginning. So if you start in the culinary school right now, you want to learn all the standards, you know, on to keep clean your stage, on all the way of work and in the kitchen. And that, I think, you'll get a very big advance related to the old people, you know, who need to learn again how to work in the kitchen. Because I think this kind of thing, the food safety is gonna change quite a lot from now on. And the industry, I don't know really. And I think nobody knows how it's gonna work. You know, this industry, the restaurants make profit when they are full, and if the restaurant is not full, your numbers are red, and I don't know how it's gonna react. But I think it's a good chance to right now to change your mind and found a way of delivery and is gonna become a big huge business as well. You know.
Yeah, and be more innovative.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's the way, you know. And as soon as you get the change, it's gonna be easy for you, and I think it's gonna be much easier to join to this industry.
Thank you, Chef. Thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for sharing your journey with us. Thank you for sharing your advice, your words of wisdom. It was truly an honor to have you on my first episode. You have always been a mentor, a friend, and an inspiration. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Sarah. I feel very welcome, and I feel that I'm very grateful to be with you today, and I hope you know we help to this industry to grow up, and I think there is a lot of cook lovers there, so you really enjoy the food, and I think one more time, thank you very much for everything. Thank you very much. And I want to say
welcome.
hello.
Thank you, Chef.
I want to say hello. Sorry, I want to say hello to my family, my wife, my children as well are there, and Puta Bustamante, which is
Hi,
one of
Sarah.
my friends, colleagues there as well. Felipe, all right, Christian as well. So say hello to everyone. Thank you very much.
Hi, guys. Thank you for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you.